What is up, good people? Spot of Nerd here. It is coming up to 9 o'clock on February 3rd because that is day number 34 for those that are giving any sorts of shits whatsoever. Day 34 out of 365 going live every day, giving you, the two or three of you that still watch, new content. And I appreciate those two of you that watch and continue to listen if you listen on the podcast stuff as well. But it's beside the point because believe it or not, we're going to do a quick little movie review for you guys tonight because I'm kind of in shock, if I'm being honest with you. Let's be very clear. Hollywood pretty much dead, if not bleeding out, just giving us nothing but pretty much trash. It's very hard to really talk to somebody today and say, wow, that was a great film. Wow, that was a great show. I'm not saying there aren't any good movies out there. There aren't any great shows, etc. But it's a rarity for somebody to come up to you and say, wow, you should go and watch this. Maybe because it's based off of something similar. Today, we're obviously going to be talking about zombies. And it's one of those things you got to ask yourself, how far, how unique, how different can they really tell a story around zombies? Lo and behold, they still can. And I was just, like I said, broken record, spot of nerd is what we do. I was in absolute shock watching. It's a digital release. It came out in 2025. We Bury the Dead, starring none other than Daisy Ridley herself. We all obviously know her from Star Wars, Rey Skywalker. Dear God, I hope that's never going to get fixed. Let's be very clear. It will never be fixed. I love her as Rey. I'm not shitting you guys. I really do actually like her as Rey. The Star Wars universe, Jesus. So yeah, before I kind of dive into this, the review, what I thought about it, just a heads up, I will spoil it if you care to know. There is actually some pretty unique spoilers, which I know it's rare. What I'm trying to get at is I want you guys to watch my shit, but at the same time, I also don't want you to be spoiled because this is one of those movies that I actually it's rare for me to really kind of go deep down. There's a lot of words that aren't coming out right now. Brain. Cut a long story short, this is one of those movies I really do recommend you guys go watch. And I want you to watch it and I want you to be surprised because it is truly telling a zombie story that we have never experienced before. It really isn't. And that's where I'm just in such a shock, but a positive, optimistic way because I didn't know you could really tell a different story in the zombie apocalypse. Lo and behold, you can, but you can also do it in a very well written, cinematographied film, whatever the fucking words are. I'm not that great with describing shit, but I am great at telling you what you should and should not watch. So before I kind of mumble my way into it, I want you guys to check out the trailer and then I'll spoil again, broken record, just as a heads up. I will spoil this if you don't want to know, but maybe if anything, spoiling it might encourage you to watch it. So, all right, let me share my doohickey and then let's watch this.
Our nation thanks you for volunteering your services during this dark time.
Hey, this is Mitch. Please leave a message and I'll get right back to you.
Tell me you're okay. I need you. I love you.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Wake up! Wake up!
I'll keep trying. I'll keep trying.
If you find your husband, I hope you understand what that could mean.
The odd ones that do come back online are docile.
Oh my god.
I can assure you, you have nothing to fear.
Okay, what did you guys think of that? I seriously want to know. Tell me in the comments if you have even heard of this film, let alone seen it. Daisy's getting on a bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. She still looks incredible. I want to be very clear about that, but she's definitely not Ray anymore. I mean, let's be honest. Who knows if they're ever going to continue on that story? Supposedly, side note, supposedly they're going to continue the Ray story in the next future films. But for the love of God, Star Wars and Disney. If anything, as a fan, I'm pretty sure I've said this 1,000 times amongst other bazillion people. Put it in a vault, shut it down for a few years, and then come back to it. Although, again, your main cast members are going to be probably getting too old at that point. But lo and behold, just stop. It's beside the point. We're getting on to this movie. Just that trailer alone hopefully can hook you because, like I said, it's gritty. I haven't really said this yet. It's very gritty, it's dark, it's emotional, but it has an incredible story. So the entire emphasis is spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Apparently, and this is where I'm going to bring a little of the politics into this. This is where kind of the reality meets fiction in a sense, and you'll get what I'm saying here in a second. Everybody remembers, and I actually supported this, Trump going into Venezuela and capturing Maduro is his name, douchebag dictator, who obviously did not lead or really win a fair election down in Venezuela. There were some articles after that came out where soldiers were basically the Venezuelan soldiers were saying the US were using unique type of weapons that like made them start vomiting, made them like have these crazy headaches, and it was as if they didn't know the US was coming. They just obliterated the Venezuelan army, which allowed them to capture Maduro. So with this film, it obviously gives you right out of the gate what has occurred. And what has occurred is the United States has detonated a trial weapon just off the coast of Australia. That weapon is what created this massive apocalyptic scene. So it's not really end of the world zombie type film. Basically, a experimental weapon has gone off and has killed over 500,000 people off the coast of Australia. But the uniqueness about it is, of course, some of the dead start to come back. They are, as you saw in the trailer, they are realived or something like that. I don't know. They used a word that I literally can't remember 30 seconds ago. And I fucking love that. I really absolutely love it. So obviously you've got the main cast, you've got Daisy Ridley, and her entire purpose, she's an American. She goes to Australia because, of course, the Australian government needs help. They need volunteers to clear the dead, to clear the waste. But it's really, again, the story is really kind of invigorating, I guess is a word too, because it is actually still portraying the disaster as it happens. The entire city that was destroyed from this weapon is still burning. You saw in the trailer, like cinematography is beautiful, literally beautiful in this film. The zombies are just gross and diabolical. Like they really did put their money where their mouth is, I guess metaphorically speaking, to show you the nitty-gritty of if something like this actually happened, this is what it would look like. And I really kind of give them credit for that because they do a great job in giving you that kind of almost like that sickness to your stomach. There's just dead bodies everywhere because, again, there's this mass casualty event, and you really do need the help of volunteers. So you just have random people from around the world that are flying in to this part of Australia to help clean up. They're taking out the bodies, they're taking out, trying to put out the fires, the destruction. But it's amazing because, again, going back to Daisy Ridley, her story is she was married to this guy. This guy went on this retreat with his company, unfortunately, where the bomb went off. So she is trying to get back to him. Now, ultimately, she does know he is probably dead, but sometimes I don't know this feeling, I guess. I don't know how this would look in relation to my own self, blah, 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 blah. I don't really have anybody that, I guess, special enough to go after. Sometimes you just need closure is the best way to put it. So she's trying to go and find her husband to get closure. She knows he's dead, let's be honest, but ultimately she's trying to get to him just so she can have that closure. I'll even give you a little bit more around that closure, broken record, in a moment because it actually does mean something. So she goes down to Australia where the main horribleness is, and she's partnering up with the communities down there. A lot of these people are obviously volunteering because they're trying to find their friends and their family. Obviously there is rumors of these bodies starting to reanimate, and that's where you get the zombie aspects. But here's the unique part, big spoiler here. As the movie progresses, you start to realize that these zombies, these ones that are coming back, kind of have a little bit of consciousness to them. But you might be also thinking to yourself, well, that's fucking stupid because zombies don't have that ability. This is the best part about the film. Think of I'm trying to be, you got to play it safe, but at the same time you want to use words that could get you into trouble. They're not necessarily dumb zombies as in like, oh, the human is still in there. The zombie is the zombie. It's very clear that the zombie is the zombie, but there's still a trace of humanity in some of them. And it's interesting because as she gets closer to ground zero from where this experimental bomb went off, you find that these zombies become more violent. So again, it's a great story because the ones that were just, I guess this kind of shockwave or something that hit people farther away, they really just got their brains fried and came back to life. So they just kind of like do the old walking slow type zombie. The more violent ones are when you get closer to ground zero. So as she gets closer to where her husband is, that's when you start to get a lot more of these aggressive zombie-esque type people. But ultimately, she still comes across Daisy. She still comes across the most unique zombies that you've ever seen in your life, to a point where, so it's going to take her a few days to get to her husband. So she's going to be staying in different places, blah, 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 blah. One of them, she finds this RV where this family of 4 died. So, of course, she pulls all the bodies out. She's trying to sleep during the night. And the dad wakes up. Obviously, he's dead, so he's a zombie. The zombie wakes up and she starts hearing a shovel. So, this zombie is literally digging a hole to bury the family that obviously just died. And you can see, so she points the flashlight, and you see this zombie dad who just kind of like looks at her and goes, "Are you gonna help?" Because again, it's that emotional side. And I know this might sound completely out of the world, no pun intended, because it's a fictional story. But I think that's what makes this story so unique, is because you're not looking at it as like, okay, this is stupid. How would a zombie know how to dig a hole? No, it's because there's that little tiny glimmer of humanity still left inside of this zombie. Like they know they're dead. They know there's no going back. The body's charred, they're burned, blah, blah, blah. There's no way in hell this person is ever going to come back to life and live a normal, healthy life. But something in them woke them up to become a zombie. They saw their family dead and they realized, I need to bury them. So, of course, Daisy helps this zombie bury the family. And then the dad looks up at Daisy and goes, you can just tell, like, and this is where the emotional side, now it's my turn. So she has to kill him and bury him along with his family. And it's those moments in this movie that really kind of like, wow, this is such a unique, different story to telling from a zombie perspective. It's absolutely, I'm gonna say it, it's incredible. It's amazing. 4 cups of tea out of 4 from yours truly, Spot of Nerd. I really do mean that. So ultimately, you get to the end of the story. She finds her husband. You find out more, and this is where the closure comes in. They obviously start out the film. They had a beautiful love story. They were lovey-dovey, happy, blah, blah, blah. But throughout the movie, they're giving you flashbacks. They're fighting each other, they're marriage is falling apart, blah, blah, blah. You come to find out Daisy was trying to have a baby. She couldn't. They're trying IVF and blah, 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 blah. So ultimately, it drove the distance between her and her husband. So that's where, again, she wants that closure of seeing if she can fix it. Again, she knows he's probably dead, but she just needs that closure. So she ultimately gets down to this place where the husband was having its retreat, the business meeting. And you also now come to find out, so she had a partner, Daisy had a partner to get to this place in Australia where Ground Zero was. She's telling her story where she sadly cheated on her husband, hence another reason why they kind of split apart. She finds her husband. I know it's kind of cliche, like, of course, how is she going to find her husband amidst all the chaos? The husband was in the hotel where she knew he was staying. Thus, I can kind of see, although it's a little outlandish, okay, just go with it. It's a fucking movie. The husband is just dead. Let's be honest. He is gone, long gone. But she discovers he also was having an affair. So it is one of those, it's that closure moment. I've never really had or needed, I guess, that moment, whether any relationship that I've been in, you know, I mean, again, we're talking dead apocalyptic type shit. So let's be very clear. I'm not equivalating anything related to my life to that. I'm simply stating, like, I can see why this story is based around Daisy's story to really kind of get that closure when something like this apocalyptic event happens. Like, I could imagine if it was your family or your kid, you would literally go to the end of the earth, no pun intended, to try and find them. So, but that's what makes this such a great story. And I keep going back to that. It's a broken record. It's Spot on Nerd. It's what we do because I really want you to I want you to watch this from an open mind of like, I get that this might be a little bit outlandish, but if you look at it from the perspective of it's not your typical zombie movie, to be honest with you, it's a 90-minute flick, so it's a perfect timed film. There is zombies in it, but they don't dominate the movie. So you would think We Bury the Dead is a zombie film, which it is, but you maybe get, if you accumulate all of it together, maybe 20 to 30 minutes of actual zombie type scenes, I guess, if you want to put it that way. The rest of it is just great story, and it keeps you watching. From the moment that credit rolls, you are like, you're glued. What's going to happen next? They're showing you the background. They're showing you the destruction. They're showing you these people trying to collect all the bodies. Even when Daisy's having a break with her colleague, they're just sitting on a mountaintop and you can see the bulldozers just pouring just hundreds of bodies into holes where you're like, holy shit, if this really happened, like, damn, this is kind of fucked up. But at the end of it, you still have that story. So, last but not least, and I'll wrap this episode up, this stream up, you get to the end of the movie. She's found her husband. She's closure, yada, yada, yada. There is a really, I won't give you the specifics. There's a fucked up scene near the end of it where they come across a soldier who obviously, unfortunately, has lost his family. He has done some pretty fucked up shit. He's trying to learn about the zombies, and there's some specific details. I won't bore you. I mean, I don't mean to bore. You want to watch it from the movie, not listen to it from me. He obviously wanted Daisy to reenact his wife in a sense. She was pregnant with their first kid, blah, 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 blah. So, cut a long story short, she is able to escape that. Big spoiler, obviously. Otherwise, the movie would not really be about her. At the end of the movie, they're driving back to civilization, Daisy and her partner, the one that was helping her get to her husband. And then this female pregnant zombie walks into the middle of the road as if, again, there's that little glimmer of humanity because you come to find it was the soldier's wife that died. Basically, you see, if you look down at her dress, she's blood soaked everywhere. So she had the kids. Big, huge spoiler here. So she actually gave birth to their kid and left it on the side of the road. And the zombie mom just kind of walks away. But it's, again, you see Daisy and her catching eyes as if to say, I'm done. My life is over. I can't, please go take care of my kid. And this is where I think it wraps itself up in the most beautiful bow, metaphorically speaking, because she obviously wanted a child. She's always wanted to be a mom. Lo and behold, this is a healthy born child, she picks up the kid and she drives away and the credits roll. It's such a perfect ending to this movie that, again, I keep going back to it. It's such a well-written, beautifully character-esque type story around fucking zombies, but in a way that's not necessarily global. Like, this isn't a global event. This is just simply an issue that occurred from an experimental weapon that went off in Australia, and now we see the aftermath. It's absolutely astounding. It's incredible. And I highly, highly, highly recommend you guys go watch it. It's on digital right now. I'm pretty sure you can find a way to watch it. Just saying. But ultimately, credit to Daisy Ridley. She knocks it out of the park here. There's obviously some supporting cast. You might be familiar with some of them. A lot of Australian actors are in this, but if you know some of these, just look up the cast. I kind of just my last point here is I kind of feel bad for Daisy Ridley because let's be very clear. Since Rey, Star Wars, she really hasn't been able to find something that kind of like blows it out of the water from a marketing, from a everybody look at her type situation. This should have been it. This movie bombed. Let's be very clear. This flopped. This was a disaster at the box office. And I really wish it shouldn't have been. This is something that I really wish the masses would have watched or seen, because if you ask me, this is an incredible film that really shows she can act. She's amazing. I really do think she's an incredible actress. And I hope, jokes aside, I really do hope that she can get something better in the future, because this is the definition of what acting is, if you ask me. And I know I'm just a random person online, but it's fucking awesome. So check it out. You will not be disappointed. And if you are, let me know in the comments, which if you haven't already, subscribe, like, follow, take pity out on me. It would mean the world. And last but not least, I haven't really showed you guys, but check this out. For those of you that remember, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I started building the Lego Ferrari, which will eventually sit right here, right there. It's going to sit right there. And I'll show you guys when it's done. So you guys want to see the progress? Check out the progress so far. So here's the progress so far. Oh God, something's moving. You gotta be, Lego is one of those things where like, I have to be so fucking careful. But yeah, check this thing out. Look at this thing. I think I get it in the camera. It is, I tell you what, credit where it's due. Lego, holy shit. You guys, damn. The people that make this stuff, just fucking wow. Absolutely fucking wow. But yeah, I'll keep giving you guys progress updates. That's going to take me still a very long time to build, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and credit where it's due. The mechanics behind it, the people that make this shit, wow, absolutely wow. So without further ado, guys, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for watching. If you made it this far, blah, blah, blah. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Later, y'all.